When 3D printing something with FDM 3D printers, you have this issue. Your filament, it's not finished. What do you do with these little ends? Well, Sunlu released a thing that's really cool called the sunlu filament connector. So I got one to show you all and try it for myself. Ah, sounds like my filament connector's here.
Order for that guy, Nick?
Yes.
Young and bold with dreams in his hands, building his name in the maker's lands.
The sunlu filament connector allows you to connect small strands of filament to make one longer strand of filament. So in this video, I will be showing you how it works, why it's useful, is it good for the price, and how it prints, and instructing you how to actually use it, because it's not as easy as you may think, but it's also not very difficult. So what does it actually come with, and what do you need to make to allow it to be used properly? Well, if you're looking at getting one, you would want to print a respooler such as the Polymaker, which I'll include a link for. It's mostly printed. I printed the bearings as well. All that I didn't print was the PTFE tube. I found these two mods that I want to show you guys that I didn't get enough time to put into the video. This is the first one, which is usable by putting the connector in the middle, and what happens is you put the filament in this sides, then you just let it cool and then cut it and repeat the process. The other one is this simple piece, which lets you put filament in both sides, and then you cut it with a knife, and it will help you make perfect 45s. In the box, as you can see, I already opened it, so my bad, I forgot to film it. There will be a charger, the actual filament connector, these, if you get them with it, which I would recommend you will, and a user guide, not in that particular order. I also recommend grabbing a very sharp razor or knife, because sometimes it doesn't cut these right. Plug the barrel jack end of the USB cable into the back of the sunlu filament connector. Plug the USB end directly into a USB plug. No using USB hubs. Once that is done, there is a little screen. You gotta turn it on. Mine's set to PLA, that's all I need. It will automatically start heating up. On the screen, you can press this button to change it by pressing that button and going up, down, and stuff, so you can switch it from PLA to P to G and stuff. If you hit this button again, it switches to this, which you can use the buttons again to go up and down in value. This right here is the actual temperature. This is what the set temperature is. While we wait for it to heat up, let's talk about what it has. Right here is your cutter for the PTFE tube things. And right in here, you have your heater element, and you close this to do them. I like to split this in half so that I can put the filament connector here in the middle and connect the spools before I wind it. If you are using a respooler similar to mine, you're probably going to need a bit and a drill to spin this. Got to load them up onto your respooler. For this one, you unscrew that and you put it back on. You do this for both ones because there's two of these. Screw it all the way tight. Feed the filament through this PTFE tube so that you can connect it when it's out of it. This does take a little bit of skill. It's a little interesting to do, but it's not too difficult. Cut both ends of the filament at an approximate of 45-degree angle.
Or you could use this and cut it at a 45-degree angle every time.
So this increases the surface area of the bond. Grab one of the tiny PTFE tubes, put it on one end of the filament, push that end of the filament to the approximate middle, flip in the other one, and let's see if I can do this now. Grab it, put it into this bit with the heating element, put it in there, push that down. If it struggles, there's something wrong. You hear the beep. Pressing a little bit of force, not too much at all. When it beeps, there we go, telling me that it's done. Gotta unclip it and try and hold that filament.
Just use this mod, okay? It makes it so much easier.
Okay, once it's cool, put it down here in the back one instead. Press down the whole top cover and do that. This should have cut the end off of it, and you should be able to turn it over and try and peel off the tube. There you go. Okay, so this 1.9 something, 1.9 something, 1.8 something, 1.69, okay. They do deviate a lot. Even though it deviates a lot, it's only a small section. I would say as long as it's over 1.7, it's perfectly fine. If it is below 1.7, cut off both ends again and try it again. Because if it's below 1.7, your extruder's going to have a hard time gripping it. Likely, even with it being slightly over and slightly under, it's going to print a little funky at that one spot, but the rest of it's fine. So do we really even care? Hint, I do not care that much. Now we have a little fun. Combine these two again. Pretty simple to do. And we get to use the drill. Set it into the tightening mode. Start it off like this. Boom. Okay. You might want to slow down when you get to the end, but that whole thing was the end. You can do this as many times as you want. That is combining it and then re-rolling it onto the spool. That's perfectly fine. You can keep doing that for a long time and make full rolls. You can use sample rolls, you can use tiny scraps this long, whatever you want. So on the topic of printing, how does it print?
I came to fight for the love of the game. Unstoppable. That's why I'm undefeated. Off the leash, out of the cage. An animal. That's why I'm undefeated. I know I can beat it. Won't give up, 'cause I believe it. Fight for the
Well, here I have a print. You can see it looks really cool. We got, I guess, some gray with sparkles in it and a bunch of other cool colors in it. Kind of reminds me of a rainbow gradient. It has some silks and other stuff in there. I think this is translucent. Here's another print with it. We got some like purple with stars in it. This one looks really cool. So in theory, you could also use this by cutting off pieces of spools and making it a rainbow. You can do almost anything with it as long as it's filament related. You can make it transition between two colors, just two short sections. You can make a very fast changing gradient. But what gripes do I have with it that I think will matter to you? I just like the PTFE tube things. They're annoying because I gotta waste them. The cutting is too difficult. It doesn't cut right most of the time. There is a pretty steep learning curve with it, so don't expect it to be really easy out of the box. But once you get it working well and everything like that, you can have it printing pretty well. I mean, it's printing behind me right now. So how does it hold up to the price of around $50 from last time I checked? Well, let's say a spool of filament cost about $15. So if it's $50, all you need is approximately, let's say 4 rolls, because just be on the safe side, to cost the same amount, which means you just save yourself a lot of money. I've only done about 1.5 rolls, but I haven't done all my rolls of partials yet, and I'm sure I'll use it again to make more partials. And these prints are perfect. You can sell the prints that come off of them because it prints pretty darn well. Or you can just use them for decorations. Like, you can always switch what colors you put in there. You can put all your blacks, grays, and stuff together and print big functional parts for people. Nobody cares what color they are. And since black, gray, and white are not important for anything cool looking, that is perfectly fine. Then put your silks, your rainbows, and your other cool colors together, and you can make a cool gradient that looks great for selling stuff. So I hope this video is comprehensive, teaches you a lot, and makes you make an educated decision on the sunlu filament connector. If you have any questions, feel free to comment it or hop on my Discord server. I will always respond quite quickly. Happy New Year. Have a great day. And do all the YouTube things. Comment, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss cool videos that are amazing. Have a great day.